Relegation back to League One was confirmed for Barnsley this weekend, but where did it all go so wrong for the Tykes? We'll have a look. Hello there everyone, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to yet another video, and welcome to not a match review, not a match preview, not about Bristol City. In fact, it's got nothing to do with Bristol City at all. This video is about Barnsley Football Club and their relegation to League One after a 3-year stay in the Championship. Now, we can't talk about Barnsley without talking about last year and their successes of last year and how good they were. They finished 5th in the Championship, securing a playoff spot, missing out in the playoff semi-final to Swansea, who went on to lose the playoff semi-final to playoff final to Brentford. And they had some key assets at that point. Obviously, Valérien Ismaël was their manager. He had taken over from Gerhard Struber that season, who kept Barnsley up on the last day of the previous season in 2019-20 with a last-minute goal and a last day winner at Brentford to keep the Tykes up in the Championship in their first season back. So Valérien Ismaël was the manager. Alex Mowatt was their centre midfielder, was the captain of the team. Dal Dike was a star striker, the American international, the physical presence, the trigger for the press, crucial to Barnsley and to Valérien Ismaël that season. But probably most importantly, Dane Murphy, who was the CEO. He then later went on to move to Forest. So all of this basically conjured into mass exodus. All these key figures I've listed all left in the summer for Barnsley. Valérien Ismaël left to go to West Brom. Alex Mowatt contracts were expiring and he left to go to West Brom to follow Valérien Ismaël. Dal Dike was only on loan, so he went back to Orlando City. And in the end, he did go to West Brom in the January window. And Dane Murphy, as I said, went to Nottingham Forest. And to replace Valérien Ismaël, probably the most importantly, they brought in Marcus Schopp from the Austrian leagues, and Barnsley like to be creative in terms of their recruitment, managerial hires. Valérien Ismaël was a creative managerial hire, so was Gerhard Struber, so was Daniel Stendel. They tried to go European. They hire someone later on in the season we'll talk about as well. And initially it started off well. The first 2 games it did anyways. They secured 4 points from their first 2 games. And it looked decent for Barnsley. And it looked like maybe they won't have the success of last season, but maybe they can compete, at least finish mid-table. Nope, absolutely not. Then they proceeded to go and on a run of 13 games without a win in the Championship. That did for Marcus Schopp, really, including 7 straight defeats. 7 straight defeats, and including in that 13 without a win, included 10 losses in 11 games. 10 losses in 11 games, so 1 point in 11, because they haven't won 13, at 1 point in 11, that is utterly unacceptable. It's nowhere near good enough to stay in this league, and that's probably what did for Barnsley, probably what did for them. Marcus Schopp was sacked on the 1st of November after a 2-1 defeat at Bristol City. Again, they took the lead through Aaron Leasake in that game. Bristol City came back, obviously, my team came back to win that game. Probably one of the most important games in the season for City. After the game, it was after sacking, Barnsley went on to win 2-1 against Derby under Joseph Laumann. He also took on another game against Hull where they lost. So a win and a loss, better Marcus Schopp's record for Joseph Laumann. But he only lasted 2 games because Poyat Asbaghi was announced as Barnsley manager on the 17th of November. And the Swedish under-23s coach was pulled out of the setup, brought into Oakwell, and they were hoping for a change in results. No. First 12 games for Poyet Asbaghi was without a win. 12 games without a win, on top of the Marcus Shop record. It left Barnsley in an absolute mess. They were on track to be one of the worst teams in the history of the Championship. One of the worst teams ever in the Championship has ever seen. And to be fair, I thought they'd be one of them as well. But look, it's just, to be fair, they have kind of pulled it back, but not really. In those 12 games without a win for Poyet Asbaghi, it was 9 defeats as well, which was, again, just piled on the misery, really. And then after that was a decent run. It was only 2 defeats in their next 8 after that 12-game winless run. 14 points from 8, so that's nearly 2 points per game, which is not too bad at all. And more importantly, they were the ones that were pushing Reading at this point, not Peterborough, not Derby. It was Barnsley that were pushing Reading. But this is the most crucial moment of Barnsley's season. They face Reading. It's 21st v 22nd. They face Reading after the international break. And they take the lead through Carlton Morris very early on in the game. I think it's the first 5 minutes. They take the lead in that game. But Reading equalise in the 82nd minute through Josh Laurent, which just killed Barnsley. And you could just see from there on they were not going to really recover. It was a real dagger through the heart of Barnsley at that point, because they just looked like they were done. And since then they've only picked up 1 point. And on Friday night, relegation to League One was confirmed for Barnsley. A 2-1 defeat away to Huddersfield confirmed their relegation to League One after a 3-year stay in the Championship. A lot of problems for Barnsley this season. Where do you think it has gone wrong? Personally, for me, the goal-scoring record has not been good enough. Bottom of the league in terms of the goal-scoring record. You don't score goals, you're not going to stay up in this division. It's quite simple as that. And with Barnsley's lack of leadership at the back, I suppose, since the loss of Michael Solbauer, it hasn't been easy for the Tykes. Where do you think it has gone wrong for Barnsley? Commiserations to the Tykes. Obviously, a lot of great Barnsley fans out there. And I hope you do recover from League One, even though you did give us a bit of a nightmare at Oakwell with that 2-0 defeat for us. But we'll move on from that. I'm not salty at all, I'm not salty. If you have enjoyed this, you're probably not as a Barnsley fan, please make sure you hit the like on the video if you haven't already. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, HRPStalk YouTube channel, for Championship content sometimes, and mainly Bristol City content. So if you are interested in Bristol City, please make sure you hit the subscribe button. Comment down below your thoughts on Barnsley's relegation to League One after a 3-year in the Championship. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you later. Cheers.